Donald Trump is expected to take his latest legal battle to the Supreme Court. The former president's lawyers say they plan on appealing the Colorado Supreme Court's historic decision disqualifying him from the state's 2024 ballot. But that's not all. Trump also wants the high court to delay considering his immunity claim in his criminal 2020 election case. Here's how his presidential opponents are reacting to the most recent historic thing since the last historic thing.
I do not believe Donald Trump should be prevented from being president of the United States by any court.
Make no mistake, I want to win this election, but I want to do it through the front door by convincing the voters of this country that I'm best positioned to lead our movement to the next level, not by having the competition eliminated from a ballot.
We don't need to have judges making these decisions. We need voters to make these decisions. So I want to see this in the hands of the voters.
I think the precedent that a court could just take somebody off the ballot without even any type of criminal conviction or anything like that, I think that is not the way the law is intended to be enforced.
CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa joins us now from Washington. Bob, we saw how the other candidates are reacting to this news. How does it affect their campaigns?
It's not having a direct effect on these campaigns at the moment, John, because my conversations with Republican strategists for Trump's rivals indicate that they believe that there's an avalanche of further legal decisions to come down the line here. And they're entering a political and legal maze in the coming weeks ahead of Iowa and New Hampshire and the other contests, where if they start weighing in and saying, this is it, this is why Trump's not electable, that they're setting themselves up for disaster politically by staking out ground that's a little bit too far away from the Republican base. So they're treading carefully at this moment, as you can read from their comments.
And so, Bob, but they are saying they'd like to beat him fair and square. So are they doing anything to take advantage of this moment to sharpen their criticism on whatever grounds they may choose to do it? Or as the Iowa caucuses come up here, is the pitch something else altogether?
Listen closely to what they said. They're not going to the barricades for Trump and saying what he did on January 6th was just terrific and he should face no legal or political judgment on that. What they're saying is there's too much chaos, to use the word often used by former Ambassador Nikki Haley. Too much chaos around Trump, his campaign, and they're using all of this to bring up sweeping questions about Trump's electability.
You made an excellent point last night when I asked you, what are you looking towards in the future? And you mentioned the institutional role of the Supreme Court. It's got a lot of work to do, all on the kind of political beat. Have you, in the day since you said that last on Tuesday, seen any of Trump's allies or anybody else kind of trying to prepare the ground for anything negative that might come out of the Supreme Court with any of these decisions?
No. This is a crossroads not only for Trump, but for American democracy, because we're approaching turbulence in the entire system. You have a presidential campaign that's operating largely in its own orbit, all while the Supreme Court prepares to weigh in on a succession of issues, whether it's presidential immunity with Trump, the Colorado Supreme Court case, or ultimately a possible conviction in the January 6th case. All of this on the horizon, with institutional questions being raised not only about the administration, about Congress, about the media, but about the court itself, and with Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas in particular, a target of liberals who believe that his wife Ginny Thomas and her activities with the Trump White House at the end of Trump's term make it so that Thomas should recuse himself from possible decisions on any of these January 6 cases. All of this is a combustible atmosphere for the country, and we don't hear candidates talking about it in those terms. They're focused, frankly, on their talking points.
Right. Very well sketched out there. Robert Costa in Washington. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, John.